So I found today's Japanese slang term through one of my favorite methods, which is just being online. A few weeks ago, I went way more viral than I like to with this post here. And while that's way more notifications than I ever want on my phone, one nice thing about this was that a lot of Japanese people really liked it and doing quote tweets like this, which involved words I hadn't seen before. And this person, as you can see, calls the phrase "that's daijobu" jiwaru. Now, I had never encountered this word, jiwaru. This may be my own fault, as it's actually a word that comes up in dictionaries now. However, it is still a fairly recent term, so in case anyone else doesn't know what it means, let's go into what it means. Now, jiwaru is just a shortening of jiwa jira kuru, used to express a feeling that comes to you kind of over time rather than immediately. As this meaning developed, the term jiwaru came out as something that was used to show a feeling, usually humor or interest, enjoyment, does not hit you right off the bat, but rather something you begin to appreciate more and more and more. So a joke that makes you laugh right away is not one that jiwarus, but if you were to say go to a Chinese restaurant with one of the spinning tables and find it more and more interesting over the course of the evening, you may say that this rotation jiwarus. While some slang terms obviously have a very short shelf life, this one seems to have a chance to hang on into the future. I mentioned that it's appeared in dictionaries, but this is because it became really popular around 2014, 2015, to the extent that Sanseido, one of the dictionaries that includes it and a major dictionary in Japan, made it its #1 new word of 2015, which is a high compliment. Clearly, over time, jiwaru has jiwaru'd. And while a word appearing in a dictionary usually means it's been around for some time, dictionaries don't tend to grab words that have just appeared all of a sudden, they wait until it's had some success. It does seem like around 2016, 2015 is when the word popped off. That's when I can find the first comments about it on Yahoo Chiebukuro, asking what it is. And while I can find earlier posts on Twitter, they only go back to 2009, which you can see here. And this is the only post. And indeed, reading it, I'm not 100% sure it's the jiwaru I'm talking about. That said, by 2010, there are absolute 100% uses of jiwaru. That is this jiwaru. So the dictionary may be 5 or so years out of date. I don't think it's an exaggeration to say that the term is under 20 years old. Phrase conjugates pretty easily too as an verb. You can definitely jiwatta. Since if to mutus is something you find more interesting the more you look at it, you jiwatta that. And there are even negative uses of jiwaranai. Now, most of the uses I found of this, I do have to admit, are more like the rhetorical nai, like the janaika, won't you, don't you think? So in posts like this, when someone's saying jiwaranai, it jiwarus, right? You think it jiwarus, yeah? That's the meaning there. It's not actually a negative. But here, where a Japanese person notes that the so-called X app actually still says tweet on it, and that jiwarus for them, this person, finding that they don't have that on their version of it, states that it jiwaranai because, again, they don't have the joke. They can't access the joke. Indeed, I was even able to find rare, but I was able to do it, potential form in jiwarenai, like this person here who cannot jiwaru because the video is not loading on their phone. While jiwaru is supposed to mean something that you find interesting or funny over time, if I'm being honest, as I've looked at how this word is being used over the last decade or so, it seems like more and more it's kind of just a pure synonym of like omoshiroi or like made me laugh, funny. A lot of people are saying that something jiwarus when it doesn't seem like they've spent that much time with it. It seems like they've ended up liking it pretty quickly, but words do change. If you want to be a strict jiwaru user, you need to refer to something that definitely took you time before you found it funny or enjoyable. But it seems like nowadays in contemporary Japan, where the word is still seeing very, very extensive use and might be one of those ones that ends up just becoming like a normal word like yabai or something, it almost just kind of means like, I like it. Jiwaru. I guess I hope that you actually didn't find this video that interesting, but after you turn it down, kind of think, oh, that was quite useful, because in that case, I have jiwaraseru'd you.